Could this setup right here be the ultimate winter camping trifecta? I think it might be. Let's start with the obvious here. This tent. This is the Fjallraven Abisko Dome 2 tent, and it is a true 4-season tent. Now, it's totally PFC free, which is awesome, and it doesn't contain fire retardant, so there are no nasty chemicals in this tent, and the fabric is Blue Sign approved, which is great. It's made of nice, durable materials, but more importantly, perhaps, if you're going to be winter camping, is the functionality of this tent, which is actually impressive. Now, the first time I saw this tent, I was, I don't know, to say unimpressed wasn't the word, but I looked at it and how big it was, and it's advertised as a backpacking tent, and as an ultralight backpacker thought, no, too big. It weighs almost 7 pounds with everything included, which is just really heavy for a backpacking tent, in my opinion. So if you are going to take this backpacking, you'd probably just want to split up, the poles and the fabric part of the tent in order to sort of distribute weight. That said, this is an excellent winter camping tent, but not just winter camping. See, most 4-season tents are really just designed for winter camping. They're not truly designed for warmer weather. The fabric is really thick and heavy. They don't tend to have a lot of vents. You probably aren't going to be able to look out any doors or windows, and they just don't breathe as well. This, on the other hand, is super breathable and has so much functionality and so many usable features that this actually could be used in all 4 seasons, no problem. There are vents in the top of the tent so that you can increase airflow. There's a vent at the head and foot of the tent that you can open or close. Each door you can unzip to be just mesh or zip it up for cooler weather. And there are 4 pockets, and that's on each side on the head and the feet, plus a gear lock that hangs up at the top of the tent. It's all extremely handy. It even breathes really well. When we woke up this morning, and I'm gonna say it was probably the low got to maybe 25 last night, and that's Fahrenheit. And a lot of other winter tents we've camped in, you wake up and at those temperatures, kind of 20-ish, 25, there's either so much condensation on the inside of the tent or condensation that's frozen into frost, and there was very little condensation on the inside of the walls of this tent, and mostly just higher up. So that was really impressive. Thanks to this 3-pole design, it's really sturdy. As you can see, quite a bit of snow fell on us last night. I mean, I'm thinking we're looking at least 6 to 8 inches, and you could hear it in the night just like slide off. It doesn't just build up and stay. So that was really cool. We never worried about the tent, like folding in on us. That 3-pole design really does help. It also makes it extremely roomy. I mean, there's a ton of space in this vestibule, which is awesome, especially if you're backpacking. So you can leave stuff out here if you need to, or do what I do. And when you have to pee in the middle of the night, just stick your butt out the door and go in the vestibule. That said, it's not the easiest tent to set up. That's in part because of the 3-pole design. It can be really tricky to get the poles into the little footers that are designed for it. We really had to struggle for that. Other things I wasn't a huge fan of were these weird lines that sort of run under the tent and attach all of the points. So they seem to be there to sort of increase the rigidity of the tent structure, but they do seem a little bit like a trip hazard. Obviously, when the snow starts piling up over top of them, it's fine. You don't even see them. But when we first set it up, they were kind of sticking up a little bit. So just keep that in mind. That said, I'm really kind of impressed with this tent. The space, the features are all great. It has way more features than I've seen on a lot of the tents we've tested recently. So I'm pretty impressed with that, and the materials seem solid. Fjallraven is a brand that really cares about sustainability. So yeah, I'd say this would make a great winter camping tent, but also an all-season tent, like legitimately. It does not come cheap though. This tent is almost $1,000. So I would say if you're going to invest in this tent, you probably want it to be all of those things and be able to use it in all seasons. So that seems important. Now, next up is our sleep system, or I should say my sleep system. So I slept on the Nemo Tensor Extreme. Now, this is a new sleeping pad from Nemo, and it might be the warmest insulated inflatable sleeping pad I've ever seen. I mean, it might be the warmest ever. It has an R value of 8.5. That's insane. And it still packs up to the size of a Nalgene. That's incredibly impressive. I've never seen an insulated inflatable sleeping pad that is both this warm and this small. So, yeah, I would take this winter camping, winter backpacking with me for sure. I did layer it with a closed cell foam pad as well, but I was not cold from the bottom up last night, which was really impressive because, like I said, it was somewhere between 20 and 25 degrees Fahrenheit. And it really wasn't noisy either. It kind of has this structure where the insulating layers sort of float in the middle, so it doesn't have that crinkly sound like you've come to probably expect from a lot of sleeping pads, especially insulated inflatable sleeping pads. So it was a lot quieter than I expected it to be. Still a little crinkly, but like, what are you gonna do? It's there, okay? Man, wear some earplugs. It's made of Blue Sign approved nylon, which is great, and Nemo does have a lifetime warranty. So if it gets punctured or something like that, there's a manufacturer defect, they will fix it for you or replace it. Plus, not a lot of inflatable sleeping pads have those micro release valves. This one does. So once you sort of get situated on it, if it's too full, you can just sort of press the little micro release and let just a tiny bit of air out until, you get that perfect sleeping pad sort of firmness that you want. And then I was sleeping in the Mountain Hardwear Laminate Eco AF 15 degree bag, which we have reviewed before and might be one of my favorite cold weather bags. Now, 15 is the limit rating. It's actually about 28 is the comfort limit, which I was pushing last night, obviously, but I was still pretty warm. I was not shivering at all last night. I was wearing all of my layers. But this thing is awesome because it's made of such nice materials. It is warm, it is cozy, it is soft. It has nice baffles around the neck so you can really get cozy and keep all that warm air in your bag. Plus it's ultra sustainable. That AF stands for AF, by the way. Made of fully recycled materials, including the synthetic insulation inside the bag. Plus, it's undyed, which is huge for sustainability. Dyes are actually incredibly bad for the environment, very toxic, and they take a ton of water and resources to sort of, dye fabric. So the fact that it's undyed, love it. Now, okay, yeah. A 10-degree bag isn't for maybe Wisconsin winter camping, but you can layer bags, get a liner. We've used liners before when we go backpacking or camping in the winter, which is an excellent and a cheap way to upgrade the temperature rating of your sleeping bag. So definitely recommend that you check out one of those. We'll drop a link to one of our favorites in the description below. So basically, yeah, this might be the ultimate winter camping setup. It's warm, it's versatile, it's just all around great. But as for quality goes, all of this stuff, primo. I mean, I would not hesitate to recommend any of it to anyone who wants to go winter camping or backpacking. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm letting a lot of snow in my tent, and I do have to tear it down at some point, now that we've fully tested it, and it's not going to stop snowing this morning, apparently. So, go follow us on all the socials. We're at Terradrift on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And you can check out even more content on terradrift.com. And, before you go, maybe consider hitting that thumbs up or click subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming winter content. We got some good stuff coming down the pipe, so you're going to want to see that. Maybe some puffy jacket reviews. I don't know. Then get out there this winter. Play outside in the snow. I mean, this stuff is great. And wander on. I'm being jumped on. Oh no.